Today we're going to be talking about falling in love with your old story. This is a really important part of the process. When I laugh and chuckle, I'm partly reflecting on my own process of going through this and the resistance, the frustration, the conflict that all comes with this beginning phase of creating a new story. Everything within us, every emotion, every predominant emotion, deep within our nervous system comes with a story. I reference David Hawkins' map of consciousness quite a lot, and I'm going to reference it again right here, right now, because that is a fantastic model and guide to help us realize why we are experiencing what we're experiencing and what is the old story. What are the roots of our stories that are being told within us and then being expressed without? And when we start creating a new story, we're going to have this polarity of like, we've got this old story still playing out, but we've got this new story, this new desire that we're almost striving for to start becoming, this really deep moment of becoming. And it's going to be frustrating because there's going to be this really weird, like void no man's land where you've still got unconscious stories playing out in front of you through people, persons, situations, and circumstances. And I wanted to talk about, and I titled this video, Falling in Love with Your Old Story, because that is the key ingredient when it comes to processing through this no man's land phase. You've got to fall in love with that story. You've got to dissolve the old story with love, compassion, and forgiveness. Because when you start to see everything going on within your life as a microscopic story that's being expressed and it's threaded within your nervous system and psyche and mind, you can't help but become more compassionate because you start to see these stories as part of you. You start to see the people, the situations and circumstances all dressed up as characters involved with this old story that's still playing out. And I use the analogy of this it's very resonant to when a ship turns off its engine, it still keeps traveling before it eventually stops. So it's almost like we turned off this old story, but there's still these deep patterns within us playing out within our experience. And it's okay to get frustrated. It's okay to think, why is this still happening? We have a really disempowering narrative of why is this still happening to me? But once you start deploying and seeing that as just a little residual, it's a residual expression of yourself playing out within everything that you're experiencing right now. That helps and massively accelerates the process. You go straight into a deep state of surrender, and the compassion, the forgiveness guide you to that moment of surrender of like, wow, okay, I just need to be in a state of allowing for this to happen in my life right now. This is the old part of me. This is what's playing out. This is a facet, a thread of me, which just has to play out. And it's okay. Like I said, it's okay to be frustrated. You're gonna be frustrated. But I always talk about this ebb and flow of that discipline of mind of catching ourselves and like, oh, okay, I'm frustrated here, but it's okay. I'm at what's happening now is just this old story that needs to play out. Beyond my recall and memory, I've come in here with some agreements that I need this needs to play out for my growth and development. There's always something to learn from. Actually, this is probably one of the most profound moments of learning is through this void-like phase before the new story births and is created in front of you. We've got to process through those threads, those parts of us, those traumas, those residuals still lying dormant and unresolved within us. And it's a really transformational journey. We can talk about relationships, this being a really poignant moment for that, when you start to see this story being reflected in your fellow brothers and sisters, what you are almost with a lot of projection from this. Our inner story is being projected onto our external world, onto our relationships. And once you start to recognize this, you'll start to notice that things will start to transform in front of you. The new story will start to be expressed with this elevation of energy that's coming in, this rejuvenation will be expressed with deep resolution, with what would have seemed to have been almost unresolvable. When we start to see love flourishing, this almost like this furious, unequivocal, like love playing out and obliterating our life, totally flipping it upside down to show us what love is all about, what the love of God is all about. And these old stories, going back to the David Hawkins map of consciousness, you'll have stories related to grief, apathy, anger, fear, all of these deep emotions, primordial, a lot of them come from that animal brain tendency. And what we've inherited from previous lives into now, all playing out. And it's such a strong depth of us. And that's why it can feel like it takes some time. Florence Scovel Shinn had a beautiful quote, we're all on the initiation of love. And that's what it feels like this earth thing is all about, being human and being in earth. It just feels like we've all got this tailor-made journey and initiation of us understanding the quality of love with a capital L. I'm not talking about the human emotion love. I'm talking about the next kind of like another dimension, like vibrational field, you know, this like totality that kind of holds us all together. And we've just got these old patterns playing out. But the key ingredient, my friends, is that capacity to fall in love with where you are. To profoundly immerse yourself in acceptance, neutrality, forgiveness, and love with like, this is it. But that just journeying that ebb and flow of frustration, oh my God, this is it's so confronting. I'm not saying any of this flippantly. It's so confronting when we start to realize, oh wow, this is my old story playing out. And you can see the devastation sometimes that's attached to those old dormant stories that are still deep within me. And it's such a profound love, like forgiveness. It really is this is where forgiveness comes into its own. And I'm not talking about forgiving the people in front of you. I'm talking about all forgiveness is self-forgiveness. That's one thing I learned from A Course in Miracles when I studied that for some time, that everything comes down to this capacity. How much we can love ourselves determines how much we forgive ourselves is very determined on how we then forgive other people in our lives. The self-forgiveness that we forgive ourselves with will determine our capacity to forgive others. The roots of that begin with your self-forgiveness, and it starts with this unraveling the thread of this old story that's come with a fuck ton of destruction and devastation and pain and trauma that's been attached to it. And to just this journey of embodiment, like when we start to love and really immerse ourselves and distill compassion and start to dissolve this old story, we will be moving forward in such a profound way. We'll start to really embody that new story, because when we have those residuals and that everything still going on within us, it's a struggle to embody the new story. And there's a difference between telling a new story and then embodying it deep within our cellular DNA makeup. And this allowance to forgive and bring compassion and love and allowing love to flourish into our lives allows us and guides us into the journey of embodiment. Embodying that new story. Embodying your next evolutionary step to move forward. And it's just such a powerful playground to learn from. This is what we're talking about here. This is such a potent ground to learn from. We're here to grow and learn. And it's down to us to figure out what that is. And I talk about this tailor-made individual subjective journey that we all seem to have, which is guiding us in this growth journey that we're all on. This journey of embodiment, and this journey of finally letting go of those old patterns which no longer serve you. We hear that a lot. Just let go of what no longer serves you. And that can be frustrating to hear that. And I want to acknowledge the frustration that can come with that when you feel like you're doing everything. You may feel like you're like, oh, I'm throwing everything at this journey, man. Why isn't it changing? But that's part of our journey. That's part of the realization of realizing, oh, wow, I'm getting really frustrated here. I need to show myself some more love. I need to show myself some more forgiveness. I need to show myself more compassion. And with that journey, you'll naturally reflect those really profound qualities onto your external world. And this is when you'll start to see transformational things just happening. Things resolve that you'll just never thought would ever resolve. Whether that's within your energy, how you feel, your health, within your finances, within your relationships, within your location, your environment. You'll be surprised how transformational love is when you allow it to unfold in your life right now. So here we are navigating this journey of like, wow, it's so much sometimes. It's like, damn, what's it all about? And I feel like I've highlighted a lot of the fundamentals about what it is all about. Watch this video again and let my words really sink in to where you are right now, and just hear me when I say you are so on the right path. If you're resonating with material like this, content like this, you are so in the right place right here, right now. Your new story, your cocoon that you're breaking out of now is literally, it's ready to fully go. You're ready to fully blossom and let go of those old facets which no longer have any place in your life. I'm sending you so much love, my friends, on your tailor-made specific journey and initiation with love and your awakening process. Sending you so much love, my friends, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.